So episode 3 of Digimon Adventure kicks everything off and the characters are going to the actual digital world. No longer in the epic like, what the hell, I thought that comes near the end of the series moment, which was, I thought, a great way to kind of bring in newcomers to say, holy shit, there's some insane power levels and ideas that I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And then of course, for those who have seen the original anime and movie and things like that, it just is like a good way to say, I wonder why they're putting it here, rather than waiting for later, especially with certain forms and things like that. And I know I'm a little late on this review, but I mean, to be fair, we're going to be waiting a while for episode 4 because Corona hit another anime, which is kind of just what you expect. This is the season of delays. I mean, that's pretty much what we have to expect. And the good thing is Digimon is so good that it's worth waiting for. It's not going to be one of those shows that I think many fans are going to be like, okay, you know, it was kind of fun for a few episodes, but the delay killed my hype. I don't think that's going to happen for most people because it seems to be doing something both new but also old all at the same time, which is what I think a reboot should do. Not just kind of like do the exact same thing, the exact same story beats, but rather actually do something that is completely different but also stays true to what made it great in the first place. Because if you're going to do a reboot, you have to have some familiar moments, some familiar character designs, things like that, because otherwise you'd just be better off doing a brand new story with new characters. So I think what Digimon is doing right here is exactly what needs to happen. I mean, this episode, it isn't anything all that different than, say, episode 2. It's pretty much the conclusion of the fight, which we stop the missile, and then it's pretty much just getting everyone on board, kind of like doing the foreshadowing, or seeing the feathers and things like that, you know, setting up for other Digi-Destined. And of course, we love seeing that, especially if you've seen the original anime, and even for those people who haven't, it pretty much is just like, okay, I wonder where they're going to take this, and why do we keep seeing certain things like feathers flowing down, besides someone like Tai's sister and things like that. I think the most interesting aspect about this episode was actually the fight, because it was about 6 minutes of the episode. We kick it off, we have basically a fight. There's no voice acting. It's pretty much just music and sound effects and really good animation. The episode overall, it wasn't the flashiest, and you can definitely tell why we're getting a delay at episode 4, because it just feels like, yeah, they definitely had to scrounge production and do what they could in some of the more basic scenes where characters were just standing around talking in the real world, and they held on to quite a few sloppy shots. But that's not really something I'm going to say, oh, you know, horrible studio, why couldn't they give us pretty visuals for 20 minutes? I mean, look at what's happening to the world here. It doesn't change the fact that there were some pretty lackluster shots, but it's not like the animators are lazy or this is a shitty production. I mean, just look at what we were getting, both even in this episode with a fight scene and just the first 2 episodes. It's clear that this is a passion project and not just a money grab. So to me, like, when you look at the fight, it was pretty much like there was no real escalation or stakes. It felt like the characters were going to win. Not only because this is the start of the anime, they're not going to destroy their town and things like that at episode 3, but at the same time it felt like it was a great representation of the insanity that we are going to see, and just seeing a character who not many people thought we were going to see at episode 2, let alone episode 3, and kicking some ass and taking some names, and just the fact that they're still going the route of keeping the Digi-Destins like a part of the battles. And granted, in this case, like, there wasn't all that much that they did, really. They kind of just did the aura glowing and pretty much were on top of the Digimon, but still, it's nice how it doesn't feel like they're sidelined, they're actually a part of the battle, whether they're tossing around Digimon themselves or they're just actually participating with them and being kind of like a moral support. It makes it feel a lot more organic, rather than just a lot of the fights from before where it felt like, you know, there was cheering from the sidelines, but really that's all it was. It was kind of like cheerleaders, and you kind of wish they would do a little bit more. Like, of course, it's great that they're the reason that they can evolve and things like that, and they can give out calls, but it just doesn't feel the same way that I think it does when you look at how they're, like, you know, on the shoulders of a Digimon, or they're fighting alongside the Digimon. It just feels a lot more interesting, which is some things that the future Digimon projects did, were just incorporating more of the characters inside the battles, which I think is a good move. There was kind of like this time where a lot of shows like this, the Digimons and Pokemons and just kind of the copycats of the anime world, they tried to basically make everything like, it was like trainers or people on the sidelines, and they were trying to give out calls, but it can work, but at the same time, it's much more interesting if the partner is actually alongside the battle, which is why I think it was really great. Like, there was no real stakes to this battle, but it felt to me like it was a great way to say, holy shit, Digimon is back and better than ever, and holy shit, I hope that delay doesn't last too long, but I mean, the world is going to shit, so who knows what's gonna happen. The remainder of the episode, the last 3/4, was pretty much setup. That's what it was, and it is unfortunate that we get like this great setup, and then we're gonna have to wait for probably weeks to see episode 4, but still, it's nice to see that the characters are coming together. We're seeing some more familiar faces, and of course, we have characters like Ty's sister, who is basically like aware of what he did, despite him being like, I wonder what that meant, but of course the viewer watching has that eagle-eye vision, and we can piece together what's happening even if you haven't seen the original anime. And that's what I'm liking, is it definitely feels like there's familiar moments being hit, but it also feels like we're taking things in a brand new direction. Just look at the digital world itself at the end of the episode. It looks so different, so much more vibrant and stylish, that I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be incredible, especially when we get to see it. The action scenes, them just wandering. Some of the best parts of Digimon is just their adventures going to a new location and seeing a new wonder. The battles are always fun, and the new Digimon are always fun because the character designs are just really interesting. But the thing is it feels like it's a big adventure with a bunch of characters with their own personal flaws and, you know, strengths and things like that. And it's going to be really fun to see what they're going to do and just how they're going to take this story, because I totally expect we're going to see a lot difference than I think many of the original fans are going to be expecting. I think familiar moments, obviously the character designs and things like that, the Digimon's forms, they're probably going to be 100% identical or very close. But I think a lot of the main story beats are going to be reworked. So they'll be familiar, but at the same time, it's going to feel like a fresh story, which is exactly what I want to see. I don't want to just see an HD upscale of the original Digimon. Give me that if you want to re-release it as a Blu-ray, sure, that's acceptable. But in terms of saying this is a brand new project, a reboot of the Digimon Adventures series, which has the easiest cast to rework in new and imaginative ways, do something like this. And so far, based on what they've done over the first 3 episodes, I think they've done a great job at bringing new meets old, and honestly, I just am incredibly excited for more. I just think this is a great series. It's a shame we're gonna have to wait, but it's better to wait than just get something that feels slapped together and just very fake, because it would ruin the magic that this show has going for it, that it does feel like a passion project. And I'm glad that Toei are giving their teams and things like that, you know, the break they need. Of course, it is a little kind of like forced because pretty much Japan is getting shut down, similar to pretty much every country out there, but at the same time, you know how the anime industry is. It'd be very easy to just say, you know, we don't give a shit about quality, we're just going to keep pumping it out because it'll be the only new anime airing, and you know it would happen more often than not. So it's nice to see a show like Digimon Adventure that feels passionate, actually getting the time to, you know, be fleshed out. And yeah, maybe there was a little bit of rushing towards some of the static shots, the kind of like general dialogue, but where it counted, it felt like pure passion, and I can't wait to see more. But as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions on what you thought of Digimon Adventure Episode 3 down in the comment section below. Do you love it? Do you hate? Your favorite moment? And how excited are you for Episode 4 whenever we do get it? Do let me know. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, share your support, remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't been around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.